Hello and welcome to Board Game Gumbo. Today we're unboxing the expansion to Tapestry from Stonemaier Games called Plans and Ploys. If you haven't already played the base game, Tapestry is a game for 1 to 5 players, plays in about 90 to 120 minutes, and it's mostly a civilization-based game with some resource management and some hand management. Nothing in this expansion is going to fundamentally change anything about the base game. This just adds new components and also some single-player scenarios. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside. You will need the base game to play with this expansion. This is not a standalone product. Here's our rulebook. It explains all of our new components, as well as a few changes, mostly explaining the new pieces, but there are a few setup changes. Specifically, there are some new buildings that you can draft. It also explains the adjustments. So in the base game, there were some complaints about the power of certain civilizations. These are basically things that you draft at the beginning of the game or just dealt out to you, and they have variable powers. So each civilization plays a little bit differently, and there were some complaints about the balance of them. So Stonemaier went through and made some adjustments to certain civilizations, and you can see those adjustments here, so you don't have to go looking them up each time you want to play. We've got the Autonomous rules. So this is Stonemaier's name for their solo rules is Autonomous. So that's all this is going to be, is the new solo rules. But there are scenarios now that they've included. So you've got scenarios 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's pretty interesting. And a 5 on the back. Here are some of our new components. So we've got some new space tiles. These 4 are new. This one is actually a replacement for one that was already in the game, but there was a printing error on it. You may already have this tile. They did make it available, I believe, through their store. So if you already have it, now you've got an extra. But these are new tiles here. This all punches out really well. And as you would expect from a Stonemaier game, their components are really top notch. There's really no complaints there. Then you've got some building tiles. So famously, the game comes with 3D buildings, which are probably the most striking aspect of the game. But now they have some tiles that you can put on the board, and that's just, it helps remind you when buildings have already been claimed, because these tiles will now move off the board once those buildings have been claimed. Just a nice visual reminder. They include a bag to put the exploration tiles in. Normally, when you're playing in the base game, you're just going to have the exploration tiles stacked up on the table face down, and that was a bit of a problem for some people. So now there's just a bag to put them in. Got a nice organizer for the rest of the components, which is almost a shame because, at least for me, I'm going to do my best to fit all this into the base box. Maybe they don't expect that you can. New set of cards here. So these 5 on top I know are the new buildings. So one of the new aspects of the game that will be included because of this expansion is a drafting phase at the very start of the game. Essentially, you'll go through setup until you get to determining the first player, and then you'll draft these backwards. So the last player will look at all of them, pick one to keep, and then pass them along to the next player in line until everybody has a building. And then obviously these buildings have different sizes to them and different objectives for completing them. And just like in the base game, you'll be putting these out on your own little areas map to gain the bonuses associated with them. We have new Tapestry cards here. I won't go through all of these, but I will flip through them. So if there's any that you're interested in, feel free to pause. This one just gives you a new building, which is interesting. Don't think there's been one before that just gives you a building. This one is interesting. It's like a reverse trap. So you can play this if somebody tries to conquer a territory that you're on, but you are more advanced in the military than they are. You basically stop them and also topple their outpost and gain 15 points. So pretty interesting. The double cross is another one that's basically specifically designed for trap. If somebody plays a trap card against you, you can play the double cross to cancel their trap. And then we've got some new cards here. I believe these are scenario cards. Just explaining some new aspects of the game. Then we have our new civilization cards. So there are 10 new civilization cards, which is quite a lot. I believe there was only 10 in the base game, so we've now doubled the number of civilizations available. The civilizations, at least for me, are one of the more interesting aspects of the game. Just to be able to get these unique ways of gaining resources or unique objectives. So it's nice to see them putting in so many more of them. Also, the art is particularly nice. I like this one, especially the river folk. And then finally, the last thing we have in the box is our new 3D buildings for all of those new cards that we saw. And these will work just like the buildings in the base game. You'll gain them through either the Tapestry card or the starting building cards. And then when you complete a certain objective, you can place them out onto your civilizations board to gain those little bonuses. So that's it. That's everything in the Plans and Ploys expansion to Tapestry from Stonemaier Games.